Are we lovers or are we friends? Baby girl, we have to play pretend. I'm just kidding. What's up, brother? In this video, I want to talk about how you can break past the patterns that have kept you stuck in your current reality. Because I know that whenever I first began this journey, I would say, I want to create this new life. I want to start taking action towards building my goals. And then every single morning, I would wake up and I'd go to bed at night and be like, man, I feel like I wasted that entire day. I did the exact same thing I did last week and the day before and the day before, and I don't feel like I'm anywhere closer towards my goal, even though I know every single night I go to bed and I say, this is the night that I'm going to snap out of it. This is the night that I'm finally going to start taking action to creating the reality that I want. And the issue with this was, at the time, I didn't realize how much your subconscious mind dictates the way that you go about your life. And what do I mean by that? Your brain is split into two. You have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind dictates maybe 1% of your brain activity, and 99% of the rest of your brain's activity happens in your unconscious mind. And so, the way that your unconscious mind works, because so much is going on at this point in time, is they use old patterns that have gotten you to this point in your life to be able to keep you alive and keep you going without wasting a ton of energy. And so it will look at previous experiences and it'll say, okay, last time we saw this stimulus, we reacted this way and we stayed alive. So we're just going to do it again. And we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again. And that's how habits create. And then those habits that your brain uses as the patterns will dictate how you continuously show up within your life. That's why it's so hard for people to be able to create new patterns. Because what they're doing is they're trying to create new patterns with their conscious mind, but their conscious mind is outweighed 99 to like 1 to the subconscious mind. And so what you have to do is you have to learn how to reprogram the patterns that your subconscious mind uses to be able to dictate how you show up throughout your day. And so how do you do this? You have two things that you really need to pay attention to: your attention and your intention. Your attention is like your awareness. What are you most aware of? Because reality is nothing more than that which you are aware of. Because I don't want you to think of reality as only that which you can perceive with your five senses anymore. We've been taught that, like, if you can see it, touch it, taste it, smell it, whatever, then it's real and that's it. But everything has a frequency. You radiate a frequency. The bookshelf right next to me, this plant, everything radiates a frequency. And what happens is you have to align yourself to the frequency of the reality that you want. You're never creating something. You are just aligning yourself with that thing. And so, to give you an example, let's say you want a car. That car already exists. You are just not at the level that allows you to be able to see the opportunities that will help you be able to go get that car. And so let's say if it's money you need, the opportunity to make more money to go get that car is already available. You are just not in alignment with it. And so now that car is out of reach. And so some people will say, wow, that's not a part, like I can't have that. And what they're saying is that's not a part of my reality. And so like my window is a floor to ceiling window, the one that's right next to me. And when you look out of it, you can see cars pass by. And I'm going to bring you over here because I want to show you this. You can see cars pass by the entire time. And the amount of time that I see G-Wagons, Ferraris, and different things like that just driving by. And at first, I'd be like, dang, that'd be so cool to be able to have that. But now what I think about whenever I see those things is I know that I can have it. What do I have to do to be in alignment with that thing? And what it does is it starts to make me think bigger. It expands my consciousness and raises the frequency as to which I am operating at. And so it makes me be like, okay, I've been playing small. My goals need to increase if I want to be able to have these things. And so what I'm trying to get at is it's like your thoughts are the thing that determines what level of the game that you play at. And so if you want to be able to break past your current patterns, you have to learn how to think in a way that raises your consciousness and increases the frequency that you emit so that you can be in alignment with the things that you want. And so that is where awareness comes in. You have to become aware of the things that you actually want, and then understand who you have to be able to get them. What has to be true for you to be able to put yourself on the same playing field as the things that you want, so that they just become naturally attracted to you. Because you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And so what you have to do, and this is what I teach everybody in my Shift program. We talk about fitness, we talk about everything, because this is so important. You have to learn how to become crystal clear on the things that you want, on the reality that you want to create. And I don't just mean like, oh, someone else on the internet told me I should make $10,000, so I want to make $10,000. No, you have to sit there and you have to say, like, these are the things that I want in my reality. This is how much money I have to make to be able to invest into myself, into being able to provide for my family, into living in a nice place. And then you have to say, how do I make this money? And 99% of the time, it's going to be leveling yourself up into a person that you can go out and make money like for yourself. So like you can perform some type of service. And then you have to say, okay, well, like if this is what I have to do, like what type of business do I want to run? What type of hours do I want to spend within the business? Like what do I want to do for work? Like, do I want to work in an office? Do I want to work remotely? Where do I want to work? You have to get super clear on all of these things and almost live it as if it's your current reality now, and like be able to describe it in just as much detail as you can describe the one that you're currently living in. And then once you can do that, you have to put your attention on that reality and say, okay, this is my focus and this is the only thing that I pay attention to. You have to become almost blind to the limiting things in your current reality that will prevent you from believing in your goals. Because if you need your external reality to validate how you feel internally, you become a slave to that thing and you'll never depart from it. But whenever you start living from what my mentor calls inside out, and you say, okay, I know that this is for me because I didn't think about these things out of the whim, like there was a reason for it. There was a Neville Goddard quote that said, you found me because you had already found me. Which means the reason why you went searching or you want to be able to achieve these things is because you've already found the reality that you were supposed to live. And so now it's your job to align yourself with it. That wasn't put in your mind for no reason. Your imagination is your connection to God. And so that's why being able to sit in silence and like really think about the things you want is so important, because that's the only time that you can actually connect with Him, when your mind is in silence. And for you to truly be able to get your mind to that point, you also have to be taking action on the things that your conscious is telling you. And so this is where intention comes in. Intention is the movement towards your goal. So attention is like, where is your awareness? What are you paying attention to? And then intention is taking steps and actually putting a plan in action and executing on it daily. And so the way that you do this is by breaking the old patterns. And old patterns happen because of your current belief system. And your belief system is nothing but a navigating system that will continue to bring you back to exactly where you are. So you must learn to suspend your disbelief long enough for you to be able to step within faith, use your intention to start making steps towards the reality that you want to create, so that you can create new beliefs and new patterns that your brain, your subconscious mind will use to be able to help move you forward. That's how new habits are created. You suspend your disbelief long enough, and then you use faith to be able to start taking steps forward. Because your beliefs are made from two things. Your beliefs are either made from fear or from faith. And so all of your current beliefs are here. And then whenever you try and take a new action or like try and work on something else, and you let fear be able to create the new belief, you bring yourself right back, and then you say, I knew that wasn't meant for me. I am more locked in on this belief than I was before. But if you use faith and you say, okay, well, I don't know how this is going to work out. I may not know all the answers yet, but let me just start taking action and see what I find out. That's where intention comes in. That's where intention comes in. You become so clear on the reality that you want to create. And then you step into that version and you say, okay, well, like, what do I have to do now to be able to actually align with this version of me? And then you use your intention to act on it vigorously each and every single day. And then you don't have to care or worry about the external world being able to validate it for you, because you already know that it's yours. You in your head already know it's yours. There's some delusion to it, but there's good delusion and there's bad delusion. There's bad delusion where you're just like, oh, well, like, it's going to come to me no matter what. Like, I'm going to manifest it and it's just going to magically appear. And it's like, that's not it at all. Like, the definition of manifestation that I use is aligning yourself with the version of you that you need to be able to see the things that you want to achieve, which goes back to the frequency thing. And then there's good delusion, where it's just like, I know what is mine and I will execute until I have it. Like, that's it. That's my goal. That's my role. And I'm just going to keep going until I get it. And whenever you have that mentality and you just continuously commit and you continuously show up time and time again, reality around you has no choice but to catch up. But to you, it doesn't matter because you already had it. That's the thing. Like, you need to release your attachment to material things and focus on the frequency that you emit. Focus on the energy that you portray. Like, think about it. Have you ever seen somebody walk into a room or into a coffee shop and people just look and people just like notice there's something different about this person? Like, they carry themselves higher. It's because the frequency that they put out. And you even hear people say like, oh, I like that person's vibe. Why? Because it's a frequency. Everything is a frequency. That's it. And you have to align yourself with the frequency that aligns with the things that you want. That's all you have to do. That should be your only focus within life. It's just like, what frequency, what do I have to do to be able to be the person that attracts the thing I want? And then you'll naturally do the things that you have to do and have the things that you want to have. Start with being and then say, what do I have to do? But think from this consciousness, not your limited level of consciousness, because your mindset, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many podcasts you listen to, no matter how many YouTube videos you watch, is the exact level that it needs to be able to create the reality that you currently live in. Because if it was any higher, you would live in that reality. You wouldn't live in this one. You will always get resorted back to baseline. And if you think about mindset, all mindset is where your mind is set. And if your mind is the thing that sends out the frequency, then it will not go any higher or any lower than what it's set. That's why people have floors and ceilings. If they start to fall too far off their pattern, they'll say, okay, I need to get back in gear. And then they'll bring themselves right back to where they were. Maybe they'll go a little bit higher, but they'll come right back to baseline or within their floor and ceiling. Or if they go too far above their ceiling, they'll bring themselves back down by self-sabotage. But by you allowing yourself to step into the highest version of yourself, you adopt their floor and ceiling, and it forces you to develop yourself until you get into their range, not into your range. That's why it makes no sense to compare yourself to anyone but the highest version of you. You should have like this constant picture or thought or just like vision of your highest self always telling you what you should do next, just like a compass, just saying, okay, this is how we need to show up. This is how we need to move. This is how we need to act. And whenever you do that, you break your old patterns because you're no longer your old self. You completely kill off the old version of you so that you can make room for the new. And you shift your attention from your current reality to the one that you want, and then you don't accept anything else. This is why, if you think about it, like people who are obsessed or addicted to the things that they want, they always figure out a way to be able to bring that thing into their life, whether it's good or bad. And it's like, if you can use that power in the right way to be able to pull you where you want to go, how the hell can you not get there? These are the things that I talk to all of my clients about with Inside of the Shift program, because whenever you level up your mind, you increase the version of you, where your mind is set. You level up your body. And when you look in the mirror, you know that you show up for yourself, that you hold yourself to such a standard that nobody can take that away from you. nothing is impossible for you. That ceiling that you've been at work where you feel like you can't get that promotion or you can't increase your commissions, it's like that just goes away because now you know exactly who you need to be able to get there. And you're not self-sabotaging yourself. You're not doubting yourself. You're aligning yourself. You have an aligned mind. And when that happens, you attract the things that you want within life because you raise your frequency to the same level that they're at. And so, brother, if you really want to break the patterns, you must A, make the unconscious conscious, because if you do not, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. That's a Carl Jung quote. And then once you understand your current triggers, you understand the current character that you are showing up as, you must shift the character by becoming so obsessed or so detailed with freaking just understand this new version of you, this new reality to such a point that like it is, when you close your eyes, that's all you can see and you can see it so vividly. And then you use your intention. So this was attention. You use your intention every single morning to take a step closer towards it. Use your daily SOPs, which is a part of my align and design process that I teach my clients in the morning, where they align themselves with the highest version and then they use their intention and their daily SOPs to be able to move themselves forward by designing their day around what they have to do to be able to create this reality. And so you use your attention to put it on the version of you that you want to be. Use your intention to move closer towards it. And then suspend your disbelief and walk within faith. You do those 5 things, you can achieve anything. Because you will always have a way to be able to restructure your beliefs, restructure your character, shift your character into one that is in alignment with the things that you want to create. So you're not created from a limited being anymore. You step into your birthright, which is limitless. And you allow yourself to be able to create the reality that you want and not live in one that was designed for you by people who did not have your best interests at heart. And that's the video for today, brother.